Welcome back to the Burning Boat YouTube channel. Excited to have you here. This is the first episode of Road to the Fortune 500, or Fortune Global 500. A goal that's way out there, but we're gonna start working on it already today. So earlier this week, I decided to tell the world what my 5 biggest life goals were. Summit the 10 most difficult mountains in the world. Complete the 10 most difficult long-distance races in the world. Be recognized as being one of the best filmmakers. Build a company that is able to dramatically change the lives of millions of people. Help in a significant way with reversing the negative effects of climate change. Now I kind of feel like I have to explain myself a little bit and then start working on each of them. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at the importance of having a compelling why when starting a business. Important to be specific about what goal you want to achieve so that you have something concrete to aim for. The Fortune Global 500 list is an annual list that's made by Fortune magazine that compiles the 500 biggest companies in the world as measured by revenue. My goal is to get Burning Boat on that list, not because we'll be the biggest company or the best company or the most successful company or the richest company, but only because it means that we'll be able to influence the greatest amount of people. We'll have the resources to be able to do what we're really passionate about. So saying that I want Burning Boat to become a Fortune Global 500 company might be a bit misleading. It kind of sounds like I want to have this super successful, rich company and that's what my goal is, but that's not what my goal is. That's just something that you can measure. Let me explain it this way. I think it's very important to have a target that you can say, that you can measure if you've achieved it. It's so easy to be vague when it comes to these big goals, like I want to be successful or I want to be happy. How do you really measure that, and how do you go about achieving that? And I think having something specific, even though it might not necessarily be the purpose behind why you're doing what you're doing, it's something to aim for that's like right there. You can see it and you can easily go after it. And by going after it, you will be able to do what it is you really want to do, which is have a bigger influence on people and be able to make a real difference. The title of this video is Start With Why, and it's actually the title of a book I've read by an author called Simon Sinek, who's actually been quite a big inspiration to me. His book is about why a company is going to be more successful if they have a really compelling why before they have a what or a how. So it's more important to know why you're doing something and less important what you're actually doing or how you're doing that. That's something that follows. If you have a super strong why, something that people can be inspired by and make people want to follow you, that's the first step. So I think it makes sense for the first video to be about why we're doing what we're doing. We really want to try and make the world a better place, as corny as that sounds. That's something that gets us really excited. The idea of making a real difference and doing something good for more than just ourselves. And we've decided to try and do that by inspiring people to try and become the best versions of themselves. And I think the easiest way of doing that is by trying to become that yourself. So doing rather than just talking about it. So we're obviously nowhere near being a successful company in terms of any financial achievement. And so the Global Fortune 500 or the Fortune Global 500, whatever it's called, is really just something that's way out there, and it's super overwhelming to even try and imagine that. But I think it's important to have some kind of an end goal in mind. In the meantime, I think what we're going to try and go for is to just do our best every single day to try and become better. So what we're currently working on is we're trying to do 3 things. We're trying to build this YouTube channel because we really want to build a community where people feel like they can be open about what their goals are and what drives them, why they want to become a better version of themselves and what they can use that for. We're also working on making feature-length films. We're currently working on 2 films. One is a documentary about anxiety and depression, and the other is a feature-length film about the bystander effect. The idea that so many people actually just would rather stand by and watch something taking place because they feel like, well, someone else is probably going to deal with it and I don't have to. And then it ends up being just everyone standing and watching and no one doing anything. Two really important films that we're working on. The third thing we're doing is we are freelancing. We're making videos for other companies that we feel passionate about as well. I think there's a lot of small companies out there that could use a really, really strong video to either go on their website or for them to be able to share on their social medias that really tells their story, tells their why. Maybe you're wondering who we are. My name is Mads Beyer. I'm from Denmark. I've just moved to Copenhagen. I've been making films for about 8 years now. It's what I want to do. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. Watching films, making films, helping other people make films, reading about films. That's my passion. We've also got my brother, Carl Emil, who has also just moved to Copenhagen, who's helping me make these videos. He has never made films before, and he's just really passionate about the subject that we're approaching, the idea of goals and the idea of improving yourself, and he wants to be part of that. He's currently working on finding out what his passion is so that we can incorporate that into the company as well. And finally, we've got Taylor, who's all the way in LA. He is my business partner who I started this company together with. We've been Skyping for the past year and have actually started this company having not seen each other for an entire year. Going back, talking about the goal of the Fortune 500 being way out in the distance. What are we currently working towards? So what we're currently working towards is getting funding for a feature-length documentary about anxiety and depression. And then we're also working on actually completing the production stage of a feature-length film that's called Boris and Johan that Taylor is directing and wrote. We're also making a couple of really exciting videos for some companies that we feel really passionate about, one of them being Goal Zero. They make solar-powered batteries, and if you haven't seen our previous video, go check it out because we're doing a giveaway of one of their products. All you have to do is like the video, subscribe to our channel, and comment what your life goals are. You can watch it right here, or you can go in the description and there'll be a link to it there as well. As you may have noticed, I'm currently working from home. We don't yet have an office, so we're just working out of this apartment. For the time being, that's gonna work perfectly, but one of our immediate goals is definitely to try and get an office so that we can have a space where we can all be and we can really start working on bigger projects. Make sure to subscribe down below. We're gonna be releasing another video on Monday. If this kind of business stuff doesn't really interest you, you still subscribe because next week we're gonna be talking about filmmaking and our filmmaking goals. So join us for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of days. And don't forget to subscribe.